The Chicago business scene is as diverse as the city itself. But we don't always hear from the entrepreneurs who keep the Chicago economy colorful. That's where I come in. I'm Micae Brown, and this is the Micae Brown Report. And I see you all, Charlene, Janice, Julian, Oli. I think that's how you pronounce it. Charlene says, hello, how are you? And
hello,
Happy
Charlene.
New Year.
Oh, yeah.
Happy New Year.
This is the first Women Crushing Wednesday back from winter break. The first.
So
And
exciting.
Emerald is the first.
Kicking it off.
Serious.
The bang. Wine. Where is the booze?
Girl, like, let me just let you all know. I have gained 33 pounds in the past 4 months.
Look at her face.
How's that possible?
White Castle, Italian beef, double cheeseburgers,
Doesn't sound good.
chitlins,
Not
fried
chitlins.
chicken. Need I say more? So
All the good stuff.
in the midst of that, I am trying to not drink, which is very hard because I had a glass of wine, a small dollop of champagne today because that's what was left in my refrigerator and I didn't want it to go to waste.
But
Just
excuse.
a dollop.
But excuse.
Yes.
Nice.
Just a little dollop. So this year I'm trying to do some things better and I hired a female trainer. It's the first time I ever
Nice.
worked out with a woman. I'm so excited.
Was it-
Oh,
Yes. So Sharnia Phillips, she does Phillips Power Fitness. And I'm excited to work with her so you all won't see these chubby cheeks in the next couple months. Filled with sodium and saturated fat.
oh, my God.
I mean, with lots of happiness. I know you were happy these last 3-4 months.
Happy as ever. What is
Yeah.
something, Emerald, that you decided that you were going to change up this new year? Or did you say, I'm already on the path to success, I'm not changing anything?
No, nobody ever says that. No, nobody says that. The one resolution that I made for myself was to actually not have a resolution, but really just focus on no regrets. So whatever decision I make, don't overthink it. Don't think, should I, could I, just no regrets. So if I decide that I'm going to do X, Y, Z and I did it, think about what I did, try to find the good, the bad, whatever it is, and just deal with it. Because we spend so much of our time looking back, and we forget to stay in the moment. And there's so many great things that happen in the moment, for better or for worse. And that's why I was like, for you, you're like, oh, I ate all this stuff and I ate all this food. And I'm like, but I bet you were happy as hell.
Girl, yes. That's such a great way to look at it.
Because we made it. Do you know how many people died in 2017 that didn't make it?
Right.
We made it. And so I'm like, sorry, but when we die, this flesh is going to the ground. Not that I'm going to be responsible about it, but if you had some champagne today, it's okay. Tomorrow you'll do better. And if you don't, oh well, we'll keep trying.
You know
So
what?
really no,
They're just going to give Emerald a hug right now. Jessica, what about
you? We get together.
Yes, I know. What did you say you were going to do for 2018?
2018, I'm going to be more intentional about my time. Straight to the point. Boom, boom.
Right? Stop being late everywhere. 2017, I was late almost every meeting.
You late, Emerald? You.
I was.
No way.
Yes. I have those 2 kids, and the older they get, the more stuff you have to do with them. And yeah, I was always late to something. So I'm gonna try and do better.
Is it the 2 kids, or is it because you're Ghanaian? Which one? Tell the
Girl,
truth. It's in your DNA, girl.
It's both, girl. You know, gotta own up.
all my Ghanaian friends, I'm like, listen, this is not Ghanaian time. It's worse than CP time. Like Ghanaian time is worse than CP time. I'm okay with CP time. But Ghanaian time, y'all say dinner is at 5. Why does it start at 9?
I plead, no, that ain't me. No, you hanging with the wrong ones, girl.
Am I?
Who you hanging with?
Man, I'm like, when is the food gonna be done? I thought it was supposed to be done 4 hours ago. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry now.
Look,
So
we've got 30 people on the line.
Yes, I gotta get them on the line. Whip them into shape. They ain't showing your country right. Putting y'all out here on blast.
Great. We are so great.
So Flo says same with Nigerians.
I feel you, my sister. I feel you. We'll own up on that. Proudly own up to it.
So for everyone here, I personally am excited about interviewing Emerald, and I don't think she knows this, but she is a power Black woman in Chicago that I actually truly admire. This woman has overcame so many obstacles in her field, which is predominantly dominated by men, predominantly dominated by non-people of color. And she has won 4 Emmys. She's been an executive producer at what was the #1 daytime show? What was the #1 daytime show in Chicago? A Black woman was behind this. And the crazy part about this whole entire thing is I didn't know this unicorn existed. So back in the day when I was really like personal training, her cousin was my trainer.
Oh.
And her cousin, like, I don't know, was talking about something. And he was like, man, this is when I was really starting my Minority Report show. He was like, my cousin is I know the executive producer of Windy City Live. That's how he led.
Wow.
I'm like, you don't know the executive producer of Windy City Live? I'm like, who has a connect?
Let me correct that. I was not the executive producer of Windy City Live, but I was part of a team that created the show, and I was the booker and the producer. So I still want to say that to correct it. So the executive producer, who is now retired and is in New York, who is also a woman, but she gets her due.
She gets her due. However, once you learn, sorry, I got the title wrong. I thought I was putting together the actions behind what you did, and it just made sense. So, my bad. When you learn about what this woman did and what she helped to create, you all are going to get shivers. And you're also, I think what I loved about her story was it made me believe and understand that if you truly believe in what you want to do, you're just going to figure it out and make it happen. So just so you know, that's how I feel about you, Emerald. How should we kick this off, Jessica? Y'all got the intro. She's the shit. Okay.
Yes. So can you let everyone in our audience know basically what it is that you do now?
Okay. So I left the television world full time to dedicate the rest of my life to entrepreneurs and small to mid-sized business owners. Now, while I was working in television, I was lucky enough to be important to some people, right? So this society is, whatever position you're in, people look at you and say, well, what can you do for me? And so I was in a position where people felt like I was important because I could do something to put them on TV. So I made a lot of connections and a lot of contacts. And while I was working in television, I realized there's so many businesses, small businesses, minority-owned businesses that really wanted to get on TV or wanted to get some PR or even just, training and running their businesses. And they couldn't afford what most agencies will charge. We as Black people don't have the same resources to us, available to us, or there may be the resources, but we just don't know how to find them. So I wanted to spend the rest of my life giving back. And I'm so passionate about entrepreneurs. I'm so passionate about African-American business owners. And there's so much that that is out there to learn, to be taught. So I'm running a marketing and PR agency right now where majority of my clients are entrepreneurs, African-American owned. That's not necessarily my focus, but that's a part of the business that really tugs in my heart. And I'm helping them build, shape, mold their businesses, getting them ready for PR. So, you know, we're building, growing the next generation, the future of the country, but our people. And I'm helping use my Rolodex, my connections and contacts to open doors for them in ways that usually they wouldn't have been able to do, because let's just call it what it is. It's not the same for us. And I've been on that side and I've just seen the difference. It's just not quite the same.
Can you help our folks that are live today and those that are going to catch the recording, why it is important for your business to get coverage, to have marketing, and to focus on PR? A lot of people put that on the wayside. They're like, oh, I need to update my app, like do other stuff. Why is it important?
Right. Well, you know, I'm going to answer that in two ways. It's important to do these two things. First of all, it's important to, when you make a decision to start a business, it's important for you to learn all the things that you need to do. Running a business isn't just about, I have this great idea, so I'm going to run this business, it's going to be great. No, you have to have a strategy. Who are you going to market to? How are you going to market to them? How are you going to let people know about your product? You have to have a strategy, you have to have a plan. And then you have to track. So every month you wake up, you're running your business, say, here are all the things I need to do. I'm going to use social media to do it. I'm going to use PR to do it. I'm going to use my website to do it. I'm going to use word of mouth to do it. But at the end of every month, I'm going to sit back and track and see, how did everything that I use work for me? Did social media work well for me? Did word of mouth work well for me? Did my network work for me? You have to use everything that's available to you to run a business. It's never just one thing, right? I tell people this, PR should be the icing on the cake. It shouldn't be your solution. If your business foundation is not strong, you don't know who your target audience is, your website is not strong, your branding is not strong, you are kind of sort of blabbering about what you do, PR will not help you. It won't save you. PR is the noise that's made. You're on television, 5 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, it's there, poof, it's gone. How do you keep your business running when all the notoriety and all the girl, I saw you on TV is gone? So I really try to focus on educating people on the importance of having a strong foundation for your business, then using PR as the icing on the cake. Don't just think that I'm just going to go on TV and I'm just going to make all the sales. No, you might get some momentum, but you have to find a way to be strategic to make sure you keep the momentum going, and it comes with planning from step one. Everything has got to be put in check. Don't just do things because. I find so many of my clients that are like, well, I'm on social media, but nah, it's not working, so I'm not going to do it again. Hold up. How are you using social media? What are you putting out there? What are you seeing? Are you solving people's problems by how you're posting, or are you just bragging? You know, look at me, look at me, look at me. Or are you saying, are you having a hard time getting through your day? Well, my product is what's going to help solve that problem. How are you communicating to your target audience? Once you fix that, how are you tracking? Social media has analytics behind it. Don't just post and then walk away. At the end of every month, pull those reports, look at it. How many people loved this particular thing that you posted? How many click-throughs did you get? Track, monitor, stay consistent. Don't stop because the first or second try didn't work out. Keep that.
That is some very valuable advice, and I feel like it's what we see all the time. And we can even attribute it to just our personal lives in general. Once we hit a roadblock, we just quit. Why do you think people are quitting, especially Black people? This is the time where we need to keep going more than ever. Working with your business owners, what are some of the main factors that just has them stuck and not pushing forward and trying a different way?
You know, some people start a business because they think, oh, I want to have a business. But starting a business and running a business and being an entrepreneur is one of the hardest things you can do. And step one is making that commitment to yourself that I'm going to carry this through. And that's the first step. So people started thinking, I'm going to start my business, I'm going to make all this money, and life is going to be great. No. So it's about mindset, right? You have to get it in your mind that this is going to be one of the hardest things that you're ever going to do. And you have to tell yourself that anytime you stop, that is when you could have gotten through that turning point, right? So you cannot stop. You have to keep going. But I also think, like I said, what pushed me to start my own business is the lack of support. You hear it and you think it's a stereotype, but then you get in it and you realize it's true. We're not always the most supportive of each other, and we don't always share the information, right? So I'm running, say, a t-shirt company. You're running a t-shirt company. You're doing a really good job. I come to you to say, hey, can you give me some ideas? Feed your ambition. I love it. I come to you and I say, look, I'm starting a t-shirt business. I'm really struggling. Can you give me some advice? Your job is to give me advice and help shape and mold, because by you sharing, you're not taking away your blessing by sharing. But sometimes in our community, we think if I share with this person, they're going to shine over me, and so we don't. But what we're not doing is that we're not spreading the wealth of information that will multiply within our communities and just make us all grow. And that is the number one problem. And so what I spend a lot of my time doing is really mentoring these business owners and making the connection. A lot of times I will work with, say, the Stork Bag, who is a client of mine. And I would say, let's look at you. You're small, you're growing. Let's look at a bigger brand that's more established. And how can we partner with that brand? Because that brand, and more often than not, that brand has a bigger following, a larger calling. But I try to make those connections because you two can help each other. That brand may need to tap into an African American community that the Stork Bag has, and the Stork Bag needs to tap into the majority of the community. And so it's a one hand washes the other. The minute our community and us as Black people can get out of that mindset, we're going to break free. And I'm telling you, we all know the facts. We've got higher purchasing power. We've got, we influence the entire market. We don't realize how much power we have. And sometimes I believe it's intentional. When a powerful group of people don't know their power,
girl,
because the minute they know their power and we can collectively put our forces together, watch out. And I think that that's what step one has to be. And I'm hoping that that's what 2018 is going to be for all of us, as women, as Black women, whatever it is, really, it's, by dimming somebody else's light bulb or taking out somebody else's light bulb, it's not going to make your light shine any brighter. No. It's not. But together we can grow, right? And so really, I think the thing with entrepreneurs and people just quitting and giving up is that they go at it alone. It's me and my business. I'm not going to ask no questions. I'm not going to let anybody see that I'm struggling. I don't want anybody to feel like I'm failing, so I'm just going to go at it alone. No. Even me, right? 15 years working in television, now running this agency. I'm running the agency for 2 years. I collaborate all the time. There are other publicists I collaborate with. I do Chicago PR for publicists based in New York and LA because I know the market really well. I do PR even with some publicists right here in Chicago. We join forces and we're more powerful when we go pitch bigger brands, because now they're not going to look at me and say, well, is it going to be just you? No, it's me and my team, and it's her and our team, and we're working together. And together, you've got 10 people, resources.
Hello.
We have to change our mindset. You cannot win alone. We have to win together, and we have to share what we know, because when I help you, I have to hope that you can help me. And if you don't, that's okay. But I did my part.
Absolutely.
That's the problem. But we have to get over that. We have to get over that.
Man, Charlene says, speak now, win together. Deidre says, yes, with the hands up. Like, you are so preaching. And this is the reason why Jessica and I came up with the idea to showcase these women because we're stronger together. Did you know this? And tell me your gut reaction, that I want Jessica to take over. I have a tendency to just be like, nah! But what is your gut reaction when you hear this statistic? This whole entire statement. African American women, this is a fact, it's not an alternative one, are the smartest demographic right now because we are earning the most degrees, based on the degrees. We are starting businesses at a faster rate than any other demographic. Our average net worth is $1.
Are you serious? Wow. I mean, like Charlene said, Charlene's like, I'm not stunned by that. I would say I'm stunned by that because I still know that our net worth would be low, but I didn't expect it to be $1. I didn't. So I'm stunned by that number. I wouldn't be surprised if someone said, oh, it's low. I'm like, oh yeah, it's low. But $1?
$1. And Charlene says we don't invest in ourselves, which is true. When is the time where we actually start working super hard and actually started working really smart and utilizing all of the resources and education that is out there to build something that is long lasting? We're always on this rat race, and we're always on like the next hustle. But when do we take a step back and like be like, who's the guy in Omaha who still lives in his house? Warren Buffett, isn't he? Yes.
Yes, he still lives in the first house that he ever bought, like, $30,000 or something. Now it's worth a ton, and he's still in it. And, and never,
When are we going to be smart about this? Stacy says, I'm very shocked. Can you help us?
I think a lot of it is also, let's think generational, right? Okay, so I'm an immigrant, and I migrated here when I was 19. So I've been here almost 20 years. And so I can look at my life in two ways, right? So I look at my life as someone growing up in Ghana where everybody looks like me, where if you don't look like me, you're the minority. To coming here at a grown age to this country where I went to school in Iowa, in a town of 8,000 people. Where,
of all places, y'all go to Iowa.
Girl, they needed some color, so I got that scholarship. And my mama looked at me because we had to pay for school, the student loan. My mama was like, "That's where you going." I'm like, "Damn, don't even know where Iowa is on the map." But where I'm introduced to race in a very interesting way. And as I've gotten older and I've gotten through the workforce, I'm realizing that truly, right? Some people who don't really get it would be like, oh my God, I'm so tired of hearing people making excuses about being Black or whatever. But when you start experiencing certain things, you do realize that we live in a place where our color could work for us, but somehow it works against us. And I'm not quite sure why or how. Sometimes I've heard people say that's part of the system, that's part of how it was programmed to be. But I also feel that there are ways in which we can break through that. But I think systemically, we have never been raised as a group of people to see more in ourselves than what the generation before us saw. So let me say that a little bit clearer. Our mothers or our mothers' mothers, grandmothers, they were just happy to have a job. They would get up and go to work, go to work. They may have had, strong desires of running a business or whatever, but they never felt like they could. So then they raise a child and they're like, look, you go to school, you get a degree, you get a job. You got to thank God you got a job and go to the job. Don't cause no mess. Get that paycheck. You can't be homeless and come home. That's one of the worst things you can tell, but they had to teach that because that's just what you did. And so I look at our generation, and we are the generation where a lot of us started quitting our jobs to become entrepreneurs. And I look at the generation after us and how things are hopefully going to be better for them. And then I look at my daughter who's 11, and I look at how I'm raising her, right? So I'm not raising my children to think about, you're going to go to school, you're going to go do well, then you're going to go to a job. No. What is it that you enjoy doing right now? Think about it. You're still young, but we're going to do the things that you enjoy. You're still going to go to school. You're still going to get good grades. But the answer is not in getting up and going to work to go get a check from somebody who's the boss over you. If you're interested in something, you're passionate in something, let's give you the avenues and opportunity to build your own. Mm-hmm. And I tell people, a 9-to-5 is the worst excuse for freedom. It is. There is no stability in a job that somebody can come to you today and be like,
goodbye.
Zero stability. But you know you will never quit on yourself. You know you'll never give up on yourself. You know you will work hard for yourself. So it's hard, but why not do it now? Because 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it will work out. It always does. But I just think that as a group of people, that idea has never been what has been at the forefront. There's always been a struggle. We've always struggled. So it's been about just getting over the struggle. But it's a new day and it's a new year. And this is why when I say collaborating and working together is so important. Being Black can actually work in your favor. Do you know how many minority companies need to get, like how many majority-owned companies right now need to get some minority-owned companies just to say, I checked that box. So come tax season or come whatever, they can say, look, we hired a Black person to do something. We're diverse. I'm serious. Figure that stuff out.
It's true, yes.
Go get your certification to be a minority-owned business or Black-owned business or whatever, and go get the contract. You know, there is the, Business and Consumer Protection Office, BACP, that has free services. Do you know how many of us don't know that that office exists in City Hall that you can walk into right now, and they can do all these things for you for free? They can help you set up your business. They can help you, all that stuff. If you want to get certified, they can walk you through. We don't search for the resources, and then we don't talk to each other.
Right.
So I have all this wealth of information, but if you're struggling alone and you never open your mouth and say, hey, EJ, I really am thinking, I'm dreaming about this. What do you think? If you don't ask me, I don't know to tell you what I know. We have to start talking to each other, and we have to use the internet. We have to seek the resources because they're there. And these resources cannot discriminate. Keyword, cannot. Can't guarantee that they will or will not, but they cannot discriminate against us. So find a way to use being a woman and being Black to your advantage for some of these businesses, because there are so many companies out there that are looking for minority-owned companies, but they don't even know where to find them, because guess what? We're not in the database. We didn't go get certified to go get registered.
We didn't file our taxes. We done we're doing some back alley stuff in our house, thinking we saving a buck when you're really hurting yourself.
Right. So if you don't go register your construction company so that the Obama library's been built so you can throw your name in the ring as a minority-owned company, you can't complain when they're building it and it's nothing but, white people, Hispanic people that are on the crew. You can't, because they're not going to run the streets and knock on your door and say, hey, do you by any chance have a construction company? No. So we have to get in the game. We have to get in the game. And 2018, it's time to get in the damn game.
That's our hashtag, right? That 2018, get in the game.
Get the damn game. No excuse. And start talking to each other. Ask questions.
Did you know that in Illinois, a new law passed, a piece of legislation, where they're putting out grants for those on public assistance to start businesses? If you are on public aid in the state of Illinois, you qualify for a grant to open up a business. That is how thirsty they need Black people.
And that's the truth. Girl, post that. Post that. Whatever it is. Even if we can't post it.
Hold on. It gets even better. And this is just for Illinois. And I love this because a lot of our Black men are incarcerated, you know, which is why, don't even get me started on a whole lot of other stuff. But in the state of Illinois, they are implementing a 5-year pilot where they are letting those that are currently incarcerated, as long as they're nonviolent and non-sexual crimes, they have 3 years of no disciplinary infractions. They will help them start a business if they are getting out in the next 3 years.
Wow. And I bet you people don't know this.
They have
Majority.
no idea.
And you can imagine.
It's in this little itty bitty paragraph in this huge document that I wouldn't have ever looked at if my friend wasn't an attorney and we talked about it on my radio show. Like, I'm not going to seek out the legislation that came out that's thousands of pages. They really don't want you to find it because they want a reason to cut it from the budget.
But say that they offered it.
But say, hey, you know what, put it in there.
And you know what I'm going to say too? And man, I might get in trouble for saying this, but it's 2018 to me.
I love getting in trouble.
I also think that this is where some of our elected officials fail us.
Yes.
Right? This is where they fail us because it doesn't make sense to say, okay, everybody who's living in the hood right now, you know, or down the street or wherever, that you all need to know everything. But if you're an elected official and you are aware of these things, because they all have to pass in a room that you're sitting in, it's your job. That's why we have you representing our little neighborhood. It would be nice for you to do your job and bring some of those things and communicate those to your community.
Yes.
Right? Because all of us could go to City Hall and sit down and listen to it. Fine, we'll all go there, but we can't. That's why we elect somebody to go into City Hall and vote on these issues. And when those are done, do your job and find a way to communicate that. So this is where it gets so unfortunate because it's a trickle-down effect. Right. If the elected official isn't doing their job to seek out these opportunities and to blast it out so their constituents can know about it, then it's like, how are we supposed to find that out? Thank God that I'm speaking to you, because now by me hearing this, I'm going to say it to somebody else and then somebody else and somebody else. But
yes,
is it going to reach the person that's on public aid that may have a dream about building a business? No, it's just going to stay in our circle.
Yes. And that is the unfortunate part about information. What are your thoughts, Jessica?
I think it's definitely important to share the information. How do you personally go about ensuring that you spread your knowledge to people?
So, I mean, God, other than like doing, webinars like this, I stay very active on social. I also, every time I meet people and I collect business cards, I let them know right away, I'm going to add you to my newsletter. And every week I send out marketing tips. And if I find 2018, it's like the new law, the new tax law, things you need to know, I put those things out through my newsletter, through my social media. But then again, I recognize that that's just a small small number of people, small following. But this is where having a platform like yours, hopefully we can all rally around you to support you to get it to grow, to have more visibility. Look, I worked in television for 15 years. If you want to make an impact, television helps. Radio with a large audience helps. The mass media is where you can just get people. All we're doing on our own are the little things with ways in which we can help our clients and people in close proximity. But we need to get things like this raise the visibility level, right? And so when you're done with this, wherever you're going to post it, it'll be our job to post it and share it and cycle and share it and tag it and keep it going. That's another way in which we support each other. But this information is vital for everybody to hear. But we also know that the folks in the hood are on social media because they're beefing on Facebook. They're doing Facebook Live, hardcore beefing on Facebook. But it's about finding a way to also change this mentality, which is hard. Trust me, I live in Woodlawn and, I'm committed to this community And Woodlawn isn't 100% quite there yet. I've had so many incidences in the neighborhood where I'm like, oh my God, please let me just stay alive. But I remember when me and my husband, after one incident happened, you know, my husband wanted to just like go and speak to some of the young men. We share an alley. They were like, let me go speak to the young men. And as he was speaking to them, he could see this blank.
Yeah.
There's this blank. It's like, are you there? Hello? Where are you? They don't care. They don't care who's in the White House. They don't care about the law. They don't care about rules. You know what I mean? Like, I looked at one guy and I'm like, you know, you're selling drugs and you're making your community dangerous. But I'm like, if you look around this neighborhood, I'm like, what you don't realize is they're going to build a library that is going to raise property values in this neighborhood. You see all that empty land and you see all those boarded up buildings. Imagine if you took the money you made today from selling drugs and went and bought one of those buildings.
Girl.
Do you know that in 5 years, you ain't going to be running from the popo?
Nope.
That money, that building is going to make you money. It will make you more money than the drugs you're selling. You're not going to risk your life to stay alive or whatever the deal is. And you're going to have so much more peace of mind. Nobody is reaching out to anyone in the community to share real wealth. It's quick, fast money. So, I mean, look, when it comes to our community, it's so deep, I don't even know where to start.
It is beyond, look, so over Christmas break, I've been binge watching and eating, of course, documentaries. And I'm going to get in trouble for saying this. I don't care. Our lightweight was like, I need to be a drug dealer. Let me just tell you what they be doing. And I understand why our young men are getting so caught up in the dope game, because they almost had me thinking about it. So the opportunity is so lucrative so quickly, and they target people with no hope. It is so great. Think about the dope man, right? That's on your corner. He's running it. He got the cars. He got the jewelry. He got, what do they call them? Wads or whatever it is. Nas, so fat. Is that a Nas? Whatever it is. You know, stack of money in your pocket. He has snapbacks. Whatever the coolest thing is, that's what he has. And he has hoes. Then let's look at, he has hoes. Everybody wants hoes. Everybody wants them. Girls want a roster. Dudes want a roster, or you want to be in committed relationship, whatever, however you get there. Don't lie and act like you ain't never been there. So then on top of that, let's think about that child's like home life. Their mom probably buys drugs from that dope dealer, or father, or in some retrospect, there's no one that has ever accomplished anything in his direct future. So this looks like the best opportunity available. Success. So when we think about how they are being converted, it seems like a dream. They can go to Mexico, buy a kilo of weed for $100 and flip it for $11,000.
Jeez.
I said $100 flips into $11,000. So why would I trust you? So our job right now, okay, so then it's at what sacrifice? It's at the sacrifice of your life, because you will get caught. It's statistically, you're going to get caught. So your life's in kind of like in football, 3 years, you're going to get caught, you're going to jail, and it's going to be 25 years. So you're trafficking, whatever, 25 years, your life is over. But for 3 years, you live like a boss. But how do we provide, and this is my question to you after my soliloquy, because I'm very passionate about this. How do we provide our young Black women and men an opportunity that is better than the hustler? What does that look like? How do we say, look, I got the new hustle opportunity for you, and this is it? And how do we package that? And what you're saying about helping and sharing information, I think is a start, but what else do you think we can do?
You know what? We have to show them what that looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to show them that by hard work, we also have the car, we also have the house, we also have the jewelry, we also have the pocket full of whatever. We have to show them that you can get the same thing, but the difference is we're not worried, we're not nervous, we're not running from anybody. There's peace of mind. We can go on vacation, we can get a passport, we can cross the border. We are not just like, you know, and I think what it is that there's so much of that quick fix. And it's the culture. It's everywhere. Even us. We've got our phones, our everything. We need everything so fast. But it has to be, and like Aisha just said, you know, it has to come. They have to come from someone they can relate to, someone who's been there, done that, and made it out. And you know, but I think the biggest thing is just showing them, because we're a showy culture. So they're watching the rap videos or whatever it is. You know, the songs are singing about my $1 million house, and I'm throwing money on the floor, and I got my car with my rim. Well, you can get the same thing, but doing it the right way. But maybe to Aisha's point, it has to come from somebody you can relate to. Honestly, if there was one answer that was the answer, we would have, like, we would be rich because we would have the solution if there was one solution. And I also think at the end of the day, it's also a mindset, right? Because I've met people who grew up and their lives weren't everything. They grew up without a father who's in and out of jail all the time, with a mother who was struggling to raise them. Yet they kind of sort of went down the wrong path, but somewhere, somehow, they had children and decided, I got to do better because I don't want this to happen to my kids. We have to figure out, everybody has different moments in time when something hits them.
Yes.
And I think it's about finding out what that thing is and figuring out how can we tap into that sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sooner rather than later. And that's why I feel like our younger folks, the kids, the babies, the ones being born now, like we need to find a way to find some sort of solutions now so that as they're being raised, they can fall in that. Because right now, like, it's anyone my generation, I'm 38 almost. I mean, like, it's going to have to be a decision that you make where something forces you to. Otherwise, it's almost too late, you know? But as a community, I mean, God, it's like a flesh-eating bacteria that just would never, that we just can't find the cure for. We can't, because I can't tell you that it's about, you know, people are like, oh, it's jobs, not enough jobs. I'm like, I don't know if everybody wants the kind of jobs that they're offering. You know, and is it, you know, higher paying jobs? I don't know. But what is higher paying jobs? Because I remember when I used to work for $5.15 an hour when I was in college, and I was
balling.
Right. And minimum wage right now is $11. And so I look at interns now, or the younger generation, and I'm like, you're making $11 an hour? Like, minimum wage, I make $5.15 an hour. But 11 may not be enough for them. They may want it to be 15. But another generation will look at 15 and be like, what am I supposed to do with this? Because if I can get $15 and flip it in an hour to $1,500, what am I going to do working 10 hours to make $1,500 when I can flip $15 an hour for that? So we're fighting against ourselves with, like, why am I going to kill myself for 10 hours to get this little money when I can get it for this? And also the value of life. And stuff.
Yes, it comes to value.
I heard one kid say something about, like, how he had turned 27 and how he felt really old. Like, if I'm 27, I'm a young Black man, I made it. Like, I'm good, I made it. I'm like, to 27, you're barely grown. But to them, it's like, I'm 27, I didn't get shot or killed, and I'm still around. I'm good. It's that mindset too. But look, we cannot solve those problems. And if we could, like I said, we would be rich because we would have the magic pill. But I believe that what we can do is use the gifts that we've been given and share those whichever way we can, so we can just play our role. And for me right now, it's these entrepreneurs, and I'm having a lot of fun. I've gotten some great results, and I'm just passionate about making sure that the percentages of African American owned businesses can keep rising and successful ones can keep rising, right? So I float between, I've got clients that are in Canada, I've got international clients, I've got clients that are here. I do a bunch of different kinds of, types of work with each client that I have. But at the end of the day, if there's any opportunity that comes my way, I'm always thinking about my African American owned small business owner. Like people will attest to this, that there are people who are not even my clients, but we've had conversations, and so I know what it is that they want. I will see a PR opportunity. Someone's like, hey, I'm looking for an expert or a makeup artist or whatever to say something for, today.com. I'll send it to them. I'll literally copy paste with a person's email address and say, hey, send them your stuff, because it's an opportunity that shouldn't matter if you're my client or not. If I know you and I know you're a small business owner and I know you're struggling and I know you cannot afford me, but an opportunity comes, why would I not take it to you? Because you need to win. We need you and everyone like you to win for us to win. Because if your makeup line can become Bad Riri's makeup line, Fenty, then guess what? Hey, I knew her when she was trying to make it work, and I'm so happy for you. And who knows, maybe at that point, you might say, look, this woman used to send me all these things. You know what? Now I can afford you, girl. Come on.
Yeah.
And even if not, I am happy for your success, because your success is all of our success. It is. It is. But we have to find a way to let it be I love that, Aisha. Aisha, I'm gonna post Micae will share my information and get on my list. But I even have like hair stylists, and he'll tell you, I find these random things I literally text. So I'm like, the work for me is packaging all your stuff together to send. But if you can spend the time and package together, girl, go get it. But at the end of the day, I want the conversation to be where there's more than one Black person, and it's not an anomaly, and that there are 500 Black women or Black men out there that are making shit happen. Like, we need it to not be where suddenly this one person breaks out and everybody's seeking out that one person because, oh my God, it's like an anomaly. I need it to be like, and there's her, and then there's her, then there's her, and then there's her. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, I need a celebrity makeup artist. Well, who would you recommend? I don't want to sit and be like, I want to be, oh, girl, look, it's about 10 of them. It's about 15 of them. Here are all of them. And they've all worked together. So if you get Rihanna and you get Beyonce, y'all can share. Y'all can cross. Y'all can whatever. Or you have somebody who's rising, who really wants to eventually rise to the Rihanna phase. Bring them on as your assistant. Let them support you. Let them see what you're doing. Let them learn from you. Experience. Look, somebody wrote on Instagram, they were like, I'm so glad that all of that algebra I learned in school is working really well for me in this algebra season. I'm like, no shit. Tax season, we still have to pay a ton of money for somebody to pay our taxes. I have not used half of the stuff I learned in school in so many ways.
Girl,
but it's
no.
okay. Still go to school. But what I'm saying is that the minute we can get out of that whole mindset and start supporting and pulling each other up and saying your win is my win, and we're creating a tribe and a village, we are not going to become this anomaly of like 5 people in Hollywood that are making stuff happen. There are 20 Oprahs floating around right now. There you go. You know what I mean? And why should it be so hard to get hey, Charlene, I know she's right here. You're like, there are 50, 100 kick-ass PR people out there. We are all here. So why is it so hard for all of us to pull together. Why?
Thank you. Can I even get it even deeper? Because this is going to be real deep. You ready? So hold on to your seats, Emerald. Not only are we not partnering together, but why is it that Blacks and Africans also separate each other? Let's think about that. We treat each other differently, but when we get pulled over by the cop, they see one thing, which is Black. But we want to separate ourselves. Like, it's like everything is separation. And so you are a first generation immigrant. I think you are the most qualified right now to talk about that. I said live on air to this one guy that I was interviewing from Nigeria, his parents told him when he came here that all the Black people were like ghetto and they were going to kill you, stay away from them. And I said live on air, I said, the only difference between you and me is the fact that my grandmother got raped by her capturer and diluted the gene pool just a little bit. What are your thoughts? Why does this happen with us?
You know, I think that it's a lack of understanding of the experience, right? We don't spend time to talk to each other, to understand your story, and for you and for us to understand each other's story and to respect it. Okay. So now like you said, I'm from Ghana, very different mindset. The first time I was called the N-word, my husband's African-American from Chicago. First time I heard the N-word, I was 21 years old. I tell people this and look at me like, what?
No, that's not true.
No, that's true. That's true. The first time I heard the N-word, I was 21 years old. And I literally turned to my husband and I said, everybody's all up in arms, like the campus, you know, people were like, you know, the campus, you know, I mean, it was like, oh my God, we're going to do a march. And I was going to march too, but I was like, everybody's upset. Should I be upset?
Wow.
Let me explain to you.
Wow.
Growing up in Ghana, I went to school where I was taught about the richness of my culture, my people. I knew my language. I knew all of that. I knew about slavery. There are slave castles in Ghana right now. Slavery went right through them. I knew the story of slavery, but once everybody got on the ship and that ship sailed, the textbooks and notebooks in school, in my Ghanaian school, didn't tell me what happened afterwards.
Oh, jeez.
Really?
It didn't. It did not. And I always tell people this. It did not. I did not learn. When the ship sailed through the door of no return, I toured those slaves. I went to school in the same town, Cape Coast, that the slave castles are. And that was part of our academic where we go through the tour. When you go there right now, I mean, it will blow you away.
Wow.
We went through that, and I walked through the door of no return, and they tell you all the stuff, but they don't teach you what happened. Okay.
Wow.
Do you think that Ghanaians were writing our own notebooks and textbooks back in school? No. We're a British colony. The British colonized, right? So after that happened, I knew that happened, and then, okay, the ships went, okay, great. Then we focused on the country. I know my tribe, the Fantis, the Ashantis. I know the Yasans, I know the powerful women who fought intertribal within the country. There are all these wars and fights and whatever. So we learn about it. And then we learn about Europe. We're learning all the countries, the capitals of the world, whatever. Nobody is picking up what happened afterwards.
Wow.
So we are sitting in Africa thinking, y'all went to America. The streets are paved with gold.
Wow.
What are you complaining about? Like, you're living in a better country than we are. We're still here in Africa, in a third world country. They don't teach you that. So Africans come here with, I'm coming to America. I remember when I was standing in line, I tell this all the time to my children. Anytime they're trying to complain, I said, I remember, because I was 19, I was number one in line that early morning to go get interviewed, to get a visa to come to America. My mother had to show every document to prove that she's not sending me away to come and rig the system. She had to bring all her properties, all her bank statements, all the stuff to prove that she can afford to have me go to school and that she's not going to send me there to just cheat the American system for the American government to have to take care of me. I remember that, going through that interview to get my visa so I can come to school. So when we come to this country, we are coming to this country with a purpose. You're coming for better education. And after the better education, you're going to work hard so you can take care of your family. You're going to make your family proud. We come from a culture that's all about your family, making your family proud, making your family's name proud, all of that. So when you come here and you don't realize what the history has been, but you just use what you think you have in your mind from what you've seen on TV. I remember watching Roots. I thought it was acted. I didn't know Roots was real. I thought Roots was just a movie. Girl, eventually you learn. Eventually you learn. But here's the thing. When you learn even that was true, you don't realize the impact of it. You don't realize the impact of it. So think about it. Maybe it's intentional. Once we were separated by the ocean, we were not supposed to be reconnected with you. We were not supposed to keep in touch. Right. You lost your mother tongue, and we kept it. We sold our own into slavery because we were lied to that, gunpowder in the Bible was powerful than, whatever, or that our brothers and sisters were going to go overseas and maybe have a better life. So things, who knows what was said? I don't know. I'm making this shit up, but Who knows? But the problem with why things are so separate is that we don't know each other's story. And we don't know the plight, and we don't respect it. And so Africans might come here and say, what's your problem? Like, you in America. In America, life is so much better than in a third world country. Granted. So then it feels like you're just making excuses. You're just lazy. But then when you start to really understand, and it took me marrying an African-American man where we have I tell people all the time, I'm like, you see me and my husband with the same skin tone? I'm like, we might as well be black and white. Because we're so different in foundation. We really are. You know what I mean? Because for me, I'm just like, whatever I want, I can go do. Because I grew up where my mother was the first woman to be named fellow of the country. She led the country's educational system. I grew up seeing my mother be like boss lady. And it's like, whatever you want to do, you can do. Nobody ever told me growing up that my skin color would play a role. Education was what was going to get me out. If your ass isn't doing well in school, it's like, if you don't get that education together, you're not getting out. Education was the key to a better life. No, never did I hear anything about my skin color being used against me. So coming here at 19 and hearing the N-word for the first time at 21, think about my foundation. My foundation told me I could do whatever the hell I wanted to do. So even if the system may try to break me or whatever, my foundation stays strong because that's what I was told. And that's what I saw my mother do. That's what I saw my father do. My mother was in the room with men, the boss of men. I grew up literally daydreaming like, one day, man, I'm going to walk in the boardroom and a bunch of men are going to stand up, because that's what I saw. My mother was a single mother. That's what I saw. So when you start to understand that you're in a different country with a different culture and a different struggle that is real, you have to allow yourself to have empathy and to understand that it's not just what your regular mind tells you. It's way deeper than we could ever understand.
Yeah.
Then you have to say, at the end of the day, the same. They're not going to pull us up in a lineup and say, well, I carry an American passport. So even if they say, show me a passport, they're not going to say, what kind of blood do you have over that one? It's the same. So are we going to be united to make this shit work? Or are we going to keep that to keep breaking us apart? Because guess what? The more we keep staying apart, the more we're giving away our power.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But it takes a lot of educating to make that happen. And I have said many times that I would love to be able to go home and have that conversation with my people, the regular people on the street. I go home and people are like, man, you want to take me to America with you? And I stop them right away and I say, you have no idea the struggle. Because you know what? There are Africans here too that are driving cabs, they're working 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, and they don't speak the truth when they go home. We also complain. They go home and the dollar is 4 times the amount. They're building houses. They're sending money home because the conversion rate is really good. They're going home. They're like, I'm the king. I'm the whatever. I'm rich. And everybody's like, whoa, you're back. You're back. Whoa. And you're like spreading money, whatever. So they think the streets are paved with money. But they don't explain the work ethic in America beats the work ethic anyplace else. I remember my mom, it's snowing, it's -10 degrees, get your ass up to work. Right? You know what I mean? Back at home, it's like, oh my God, it's raining. No, I'm not going to work today. Why? Because it's raining. What? It's the same thing. So it's a dual responsibility that we have. We need to stop going back home and flaunting the stuff we have and not being truthful that, dude, I'm working 4 jobs just to make this stuff happen. No, I'm not going to bring a suitcase full of stuff with you. We're perpetuating that. And then those back at home, we need to explain to them what happened to our brothers and sisters when they went across the waters and how really the struggle is real. So we need to co-educate each other. And that's the problem. Hands down, that's the problem. That's what I saw for myself as somebody who lives in it. And then I'm raising my children who are truly African American, right? Because they're
legitimately African American.
They really are. And when I take them home with me, I try to show them, and I try to right now, even if they're, cutting up or throwing tantrums or whatever, I look at them and I say, look, you are a hunter, but also you are an agri, which is who I am. And your great-great-grandfather, there's history behind our name. And what my great-grandfather did to contribute to the country. So when I start sharing it with them, right? And my great-grandfather, he was just honored and put on the 5, I'm getting my wallet right here to see, on one of the 5 TD bills in the country. Like, I brought that
Get
home.
out of here.
I know the kids were like, oh, does that mean we're rich? I'm like, no, girl, this money ain't going, it's not going to go far. But this is my
gosh!
It's on the 5 CD note. But I brought several of these home, and I'm framing one of this for them, because every time they throw a tantrum or they act up or they think life is unfair or you're being whatever, or like my son, he's 7, he's young, punch somebody in school. I'm like, dude, this is your ancestor. We don't do that, right? And so we all need to find a way to tap into parts of our history, part of our culture, to keep perpetuating that with our young ones, to empower them, right? It's like, if whatever your kid's last name become, or whatever your own Brown, you're Micae, you're gonna be like, no, you're a Brown, your family, they, from Mississippi, whatever that is. We need to start instilling pride in our name, power in our name, and instill pride, and keep that going. Keep that going. But that hands down is the problem. Africans don't understand African Americans. African Americans don't understand Africans, and we need to stop and just start talking. Right.
Like Emerald. I'm speechless. That doesn't happen.
We thought we were going to talk about entrepreneurship. Now we're talking about history.
Man.
It kind of touches on it.
Like, you hit on something that many people are afraid to even talk about. And it's a shame, because this is something that is necessary for us to talk about. Because if we don't bring it up and we keep sweeping things under the rug and acting like everything is okay, we're not going to go anywhere. And I can't stand it. Like, the Black community is all about sweeping the real stuff that matters under the rug and protesting about the dumb stuff.
All the time. I'm like, do you know how many people are being killed in the hood, and why are we not protesting every time? But the minute it's, a police officer shoots somebody, everybody takes the streets. I'm like, well, God, you guys,
here we go.
Every time somebody gets shot, you need to hit those streets, and don't just, But see, that's all part of the mindset. We have to get out of that mindset. It really is. I feel like sometimes it's like, we're working against ourselves, but it's going to take a lot to it's going to take a lot to make that change, but we can all just start.
We started just now. We started just now with this conversation, and we're going to continue to start it because everyone, once this recording is up, is going to share this link so that someone else can see and hear this. Because I had no idea. Look, my name is Adaku. My uncle is Nigerian. I grew up having a half Black, half African Thanksgiving almost every single year. Like jollof rice, moi moi on the menu, okay? I had no idea that in the textbooks, you all are not taught what happened when the ships left. That is like unbelievable. And it makes so much sense.
It does.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
Think about it. Why are they gonna? Why will they tell us?
Why?
They did? Like why? Why would they? Why would they? No, we were taught. I mean, look, we were taught so much pride in our country, in our culture, in our tribe, and that's where the focus was, right? And it made sense. That's where you live. That's where you're from, and that's what you learned. Every other country, you learned about whatever things you need to about Europe based on, the Portuguese came. I mean, so many people try to colonize all of the world. You know what I mean? The British, good Lord, like they just want to own it all. I mean, but that's the Portuguese. So we learn all of that. But once the ship sailed, the ships went all over too. They went to the Caribbean. They went, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't just America. It was however it worked. And I mean, there were slaves. Once you hear the history of it, but I'm like, they just. And I don't know if it was intentional or not, but what I'm saying is if you don't know what you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know.
And you don't know. But it's about really at the end of the day, we all need to start being more together and focus on the togetherness than apart. They say in Chinatown, I don't know the exact stats, but when you go to Chinatown, to purchase something in Chinatown or eat or whatever, do business in Chinatown, that money stays in Chinatown for like a week or something crazy like that.
It's some crazy, like I can't remember. I think it's like over 10 times the money is used and like it's 15 times. There we go. 15 times.
Before it cycles out. And then for us, it's like an in and then out.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole, like we have to start realizing, dude, we can become like that. Yes. We can become like Wall Street. We can be all of those things. It starts with money comes in, it's going to cycle through my community first. And when it cycles through your community and you go, I told someone this once. I have a African-American owned business, and another friend of mine went to this business to patronize them. I don't want to say the name of the business. The minute I say, you'll know. They went there and they complained about the service that they got. They went straight on Facebook and blasted the business. This is why I'm never going to come here. Da, 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 da. So I saw that post, and that was my client spot. So I sent her a text and I said, imagine if based on the service that you had, one, you had texted me because you know me and you know that's my client spot. You had texted me and said, look, by the way, I went to this place. I didn't get great service. I'm giving you a heads up. This is what happened. You text me. I will communicate to the owner what happened. The owner will rectify it. But you skipped all the channels, right? And you expose the business, putting them on blast. I want you to do the exact same thing if you go to a white-owned business, an Indian-owned business, whatever owned business that you do. So we are hardest on each other.
We are.
With no mercy, like no mercy. And I'm like, you can pull people aside. You can do, like, why don't we try to find a way to say, I really support you. I really support your business. So I'm going to just let you know, I wasn't happy with it. Why do you have to go straight to social media and go put it on blast? We're not supportive. That's the problem. So I think if we can start changing the way we think about these things and start being more intentional about supporting each other, we'll be okay. You know, this whole H&M thing that happened, suddenly I'm seeing people on social media like, here are 15 other Black businesses that you can support instead of H&M. Why we always have to wait until something happens, then we're like, shop Black, buy Black. Shop Black anyway.
At shop Black every day, all day. Do you know that there is a Black company that makes paper towels and toilet paper?
We wouldn't know.
Go to blackmall.com. Blackmall.com. They make paper towels. And toilet paper. Blackmall.com. They are like a vendor that helps to put out products for Black-owned businesses. And one of the vendors they make paper towels. Why not? Like, you're gonna go and buy paper towels, period. And you gotta wipe your butt. Why not buy Black? You know what I'm saying? You gotta wipe your butt. If you're not, then we got problems. We're gonna have to talk about something whole lot different. But it is so important. I am just so blown away. I want to be respectful of your time. And I would love for you to, Jessica, to close us out with one closing like hitter, but like you've hit so many things. The comments are off the chain. It's like, this is, one of the, Emerald, you already know. Okay.
So wait, I have a solution. We need to get this show elevated, and we need to get it on an even bigger platform so more people can tune in and watch.
Yes.
So more can join in the conversation so that we can lend our voice to making a change in our community.
Yes.
Right? So we set that as one of our goals for 2018. How can we get these two sisters that are sitting in here? I know we still have 22 viewers in there. Let's think. How are we going to support Micae and Jessica right now? And I went on Jessica's Instagram because I didn't know who she was. And I saw that she's committed to our community too and the youth and really empowering them with a not-for-profit organization that you have. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't know about her. But thanks to Micae, now I know about her. So our job is to find a solution.
Yes.
So everybody right now, when we leave, when this thing posts, we're all going to share it and tag and share and tag and tell everybody to watch so that Women Crushing Wednesdays become a thing and HBO or Showtime or somebody can also give it a platform that it deserves. So that's what we're all going to do. Every 23 of us. Yeah. And what's the hashtag that you wrote down? We're going to use that hashtag. And we're gonna,
yes. It was a hashtag.
Get in the game.
Hashtag get in the game.
We're getting in the game in 2018. And we're going to focus on the solution and not just talk. We are going to act. So we're going to get this program recognized.
We sure are.
So now everybody knows.
My girl EJ gonna help me because I'm calling her right after this.
Girl cannot hold a meeting scheduled. She canceled on me twice.
Look, okay, hold on. First, I called you first and you didn't answer, and I need you. So I'm like, don't even go there because you're busy too. So she put me on blast. And so then I messed up on the second meeting. So we're even. Was it twice for real?
Right. So Samantha Thomas, is this the same as Samantha Thomas that I know in Vegas? She's like, okay, so how do we share? Hey, girl, she's another one crushing it. Another one crushing it. So
you'll get an email with the link.
There you go.
And it will also be uploaded on womencrushingwednesday.com. You'll see the video, and so you can share it on YouTube. As soon as it's finished processing, we will share what you missed. And you can also follow up on Women Crushing Wednesday to share the video on YouTube. We got to share.
Perfect.
We need this. We need to blast out all of us that are doing great things because this is how the connections happen. This is how it happens.
This is how we make a change.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for joining us. We're getting it done in 2018. Have a great, great night. We will talk to you later. Bye.
That was great.